Just a few minutes ago, this rural parish road was graded, perhaps for the first time in a long time. The litter was picked up and the ditches were cleaned. You see, for the first time in a while, road work is getting underway in rural Tangipahoa following the passage of the 1-cent sales tax and the failure of the movement to bring back the police jury system on October 7th. Cautiously at first, after years of dire financial woes, things appear to be getting back to normal in parish government. I'm your host, Ken Benitez, for a half-hour look inside parish government, a look at Gordon Burgess, your parish president. Parish President Gordon Burgess, December 13th will always stand out as an occasion when the parish celebrated the arrival of a couple of tractors, and anywhere else getting a couple of pieces of equipment wouldn't be a big deal, but it's been many years since the parish government here had any new equipment.
That's correct, Ken. I was just talking with some of the employees that's been here 10, 12 years, and they're saying except for a couple of road graders, this is the first time that they have seen new equipment. And it's really good to have this equipment coming in, and as you know, we have 2 more boom mowers that should be delivered in the next 30 days, and we have 2 motor graders that should be delivered about the same time, along with some new dump trucks. So we're moving ahead, and we've just got to have this equipment to do the work on these roads that needs to be done. So this is a start, and hopefully the people will see some new equipment on our roads doing the work that has needed to be done for many, many years. And I'm just very grateful to the people that they saw fit to give us the funds to do this needed work with.
These tractors appear to be equipped for cutting grass, and is that the main application you have in mind for them?
Well, Ken, as you can see, they've got those heavy-duty blades on them. They will cut trees up to, say, about 3 inches in diameter. So actually, it's not only to cut grass, but to cut small underbrush. It will clear the road out. This will cut the roads to the ditches. Then the boom mowers will take it all the way the right of way. It'll open up, cut the limbs, overhanging limbs. So these tractors, in companion with the boom mowers, will open up the roads in the parish. And as you know, you travel these roads, you get your antennas knocked off, or you get your mirrors knocked out of whack. School bus complaining about knocking out the lights and all, the side lights. So this is going to open up the roads, and it serves another benefit. When you open up these roads, you get the sunshine into them, dries them out, especially the gravel roads. So it's just going to be a great, great relief for us to have some equipment that we can get out there and get 8 hours work out of it and not have to do like we have in the past with this old junk equipment. You work it 2 hours and repair it for the rest of the day. And it's very expensive doing that repair work. So with this new equipment, you're going to see a lot more work being done. It's going to be more efficient, and we're just going to be able to really get more roads cut and, well, just get more work done.
Daryl Joyner, like these tractors here, you haven't worked for the parish for very long.
No, sir, sure haven't. I just started 2 weeks ago, but I really like the job.
You're an equipment operator, right?
Yes, sir, I am. I have been for 10 years, operating equipment. I just started, like I said, today. It's my first day on the tractor. It's a really nice machine, and hopefully we can clean the parish up.
What are these tractors equipped to do?
Clean the roadsides to a certain extent to the ditch. They can't totally get across the ditch because they don't have the reach, but they do clean up to the ditch line, and they do a very good job.
I guess it's quite an experience to have worked with nothing and then all of a sudden to have these tractors.
Yes, sir. When I come here 2 weeks ago, they didn't have much, but today they do have 2 good tractors to start out with, you know, doing the job that they have to do.
A lot of folks don't realize that Parish President Gordon Burgess has decided to wear the dual hat of road superintendent as well. He's right out here working with you.
Yes, sir. It's great to have him out here on the job.
He didn't just show up for these cameras, did he?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. He's out here all the time, just trying to help us along the best way he can and tell us some information if we need it. And
is he a hard man to work for?
No, sir. No, sir. He's a fine man to work for. He's really great. He's nice as he can be.
This is called the old landfill road in the Laranger area, and obviously it's been many years since any serious road work was done here. With me is Paul Brumfield, and he's been an equipment operator for at least 9 years with the parish government. And Paul, in that time, you haven't had very much to work with most of the time.
No, sir, not very much to work with. Well, look, I'm gonna be honest, it was the most junk we had to work with, but we made do with what we had, you know. But it was, like we say, it was an up and down go. I mean, you know, but now eventually we got new machines, and look, I'm proud of, man, to be able to set up on a new equipment, man, and to have something decent to work with for a while.
Well, since the passage of the October 7th sales tax, I think there's a different attitude in parish government.
Well, sir, it really is a different attitude. I think, but since we got a change, got money coming in now that we can have something to work with. But back then we didn't have anything to work with, man, so that's what made it real tough.
How do you like working for Gordon Burgess, the parish president?
To be honest and true with you, well, look, I couldn't work on a better parish president, a better person with Mr. Gordon Burgess. I mean, well, look, he really went out of his way. He did a lot of ripping and running for the parish, I mean, to try to get this thing where we can have something to work with. And now that we got something to work with and him behind us, well, I think the parish is going to really, you know, again, what I'm saying, we can get things done.
Out here in Laranger, this is dairy country, but it's also, unfortunately, been home to some of the worst roads in rural Tangipahoa Parish. With me is Gerald Avery, and thanks for being on the program, Gerald, at short notice, I might add.
Well, it's good. It's a beautiful day today, but I understand there'll be some bad weather tomorrow.
And normally out here, you have to consider the weather as it pertains to those gravel roads that could get washed out. But with road work going on, even as we speak, well, it's a new day here in Laranger.
Yes, I saw they had some new mowers and tractors running and bush hogging the roads, getting it ready where they can grade it, and they looked real good, and they were doing a real good job. And I was real pleased to see the men that was operating them. They kept them moving, and they were working real well, and I think we're going to get some road work now since they have some money to work with. It's been a very hard time here in this parish. They had no money to work with, and a few of the neighbors has kicked in and put up a few dollars for them to have to work with to kind of keep the roads passable until they get a tax passed. And I think that people's going to be real pleased when they see that they're getting some results for their tax money.
Joe, you've seen parish administrations come and go. What about Gordon Burgess here? How would you rate him?
I think Gordon is trying real hard. He's just been very hard-pressed financially ever since he got in office. He's had no money to work with, very little to operate parish government, practically none for the roads. I think you give him a chance. He's a businessman, and he will know how to spend money and get the value out of the dollar. I think people will be pleased that they pass the tax and give him some money to work with.
Gerald, I think if he can keep you folks in Laranger happy, that he can do just about anything.
Well, I believe that. I've always noticed in the 5th Ward, it's kind of in the center of the parish, and what happens in the center of the parish, it will spread north and south. You can watch, it'll be a trend. What happens in the middle of the ward, in the 5th Ward, it'll start spreading to the north and to the south, and it don't take too long.
But at least these days in Laranger, you folks are pretty happy with what you're seeing.
I think the people are happy. They're seeing progress, and that's what they've been wanting to see for a long time.
Gordon, we're seeing finally some bridge work done in the parish, and bridges have been very much in the news because for a while it looked like we'd have 40 or 50 bridges closed in Tangipahoa. Fortunately, because of the voters on October 7th, that's not going to be the case, correct?
That's correct, Ken, and at this present time, we have at least 3 bridges under rehabilitation, whether it's repairs, tearing out the old bridges, installing pipes, you know, the large culvert-type pipes. And this bridge right here, it was paid through the 7th Ward Maintenance Fund. And this bridge is a typical example of what we can do with tax dollars.
Describe for us what kind of an operation it was to change out this bridge.
Well, first of all, we were under contract. We contracted this out with, I believe, Hilton Hoover was the contractor. In fact, I know Hilton Hoover was the contractor on this particular bridge. And they had to tear all the decking boards off, go in there, the stringers, the caps, the piling. Just a lot of things had to be torn out and replaced with new. And as you can see, we have a new smooth riding surface here. The guardrails are the special design rails that has the indentation that doesn't throw the car into a canal. It will keep the vehicle or whatever object that hits it into the road, but it won't throw them out into the other line of traffic. And as you can see, we have smooth approaches. We have a fine, good-looking handrail. And I'm just real pleased with this particular bridge, and hopefully in just the near future we can have a lot of our bridges that should be looking in this shape, in this condition. We'll have them fixed and repaired where people can travel them and be safe in their travels.
Richard Morris, you're a sheriff's deputy, but you work for the parish government in using this inmate labor as we're seeing today.
Yeah, we emphasized that program about a year ago. That's a joint effort by the parish council and parish president and the sheriff department.
Do you have any figures on how much litter you're picking up?
Oh, no, not really. It's up in the tons and tons and tons, you know.
On the other hand, I'm sure just as soon as they pick it up, more takes its place.
Well, we're eventually getting, as you drive down the roads, if you drove down them about a year and a half ago, if you drive down the same roads now, you can see a lot difference in our roads and stuff. We still have a lot of big material on them, ice box, dishwashers, and stuff like that.
Do you have any problem working this inmate labor?
No problem whatsoever. I think they sort of enjoy getting out as much as they can, you know.
What areas have you targeted across the parish?
Parish-wide, and all of them.
I'm curious, Richard, have you found the litter problem to be worse in any particular areas or sorts of areas?
I found a litter problem to be the worst part right around the city limit edges, like on Magazine Street down a little northeast of Hammond there, and we've had a problem with that for a long time, and we've cleaned it up with dump trucks and backhoes about 3 times, and then they go right back in there, you know.
Do you have any ideas on how we can be more effective in the litter program?
Well, I think it just takes time to catch on the way we're doing it, Ken, and we're issuing citations and turning it into the sheriff department. He's doing his job on the other end there.
Do you think this is a proper role for parish government to emphasize cleaning up the parish?
Well, I would think so, because as a parish government, we are a parish government, and it's just like in your home, you know, the head of the parish, he should try to keep the parish clean.
Now, what's it like working for the parish president?
Well, I don't think I could find a better boss to work for than what we're working for now. That's not just me saying that, but that's all the employees of the parish tell you the same thing.
The proceeds of the 1-cent sales tax approved October 7th won't come in until later on, possibly March 1st or shortly thereafter. In the meantime, what can we look to happen?
Well, Ken, we go to the bank next week and we get make our loan. Well, it's right after Christmas. We'll get our loan for the advance on the sales tax revenue, and that money is going to be used to make the payments on these tractors and the other equipment we purchase. So the people can expect to see a lot of things within, I would say, by 1st of February, you're going to see some new equipment, some good equipment out on the roads doing the work. Now, the wintertime, as you know, is a bad time to be working on roads, but we've got to start somewhere. And we're going to get geared up to where when the decent weather does come, we're going to be able to really get out there and show the people what we can do, how we're going to spend their tax dollars, and I can assure you that we're going to do the best job possible with what dollars we get.
Well, I think you have every confidence in the road superintendent.
Well, yes, I do. I have to.
That's right. You're still planning to serve as your own road supervisor, correct?
Yes, Ken, I've got to do it for a while. I'm going to have to hire one more foreman, and I'll have 3 crews working parish-wide. Then that way I can keep a better handle on what is going on, where the people's working, where they're going to be. We meet every Monday morning, and we plan the work for the week. Now, the weather sometimes disrupts it, but we're going to be making plans. I've got the 4-year plan that we're going to be working on, but we have to do some day-to-day things, and as you know, sometimes you have to change. You have priorities come up that may be a condition, a road condition that we have to address immediately, and we have to drop something and move over there, but we're trying to get on the road and finish it out completely before we leave it.
How long will you serve in both capacities, president and road superintendent?
Well, Ken, as long as I'm effective, doing this. Now, as you know, being parish president is a lot more than just doing the road work. But right now, I think that's the most pressing, and that's where I should devote as much of my time as possible to the road work. And from a political point, I'm out there with the conditions of bad conditions, and I think the people would like to see me out on the roads and getting this work done. And so I think that's where I need to be at this time, and that's where I plan to be.
There is an example of what the parish can do if it has enough money to operate. That case in point is the regional landfill on Hainault Road between Independence and Amite. Operated with a 10 mil garbage tax plus tipping fees, the landfill is a big asset to the parish, though many residents don't know it. President Burgess says in years to come, more and more will appreciate having a permitted landfill.
In the mid-90s, you're going to see grass growing out here. You're going to see some beautification going on. I'm going to be sort of leaning on the people in the garden clubs and the other civic organizations throughout the parish to help us have a beautification program here at the landfill. The approach, as you see the gates coming into the scales and all, it looks pretty bare at this time, and we have concentrated all of our efforts on burying the garbage, seeing that it has proper coverage at nighttime, and the other ongoing maintenance and construction work here. But I am going to ask the people to help us with a beautification program here at the landfill.
And every day you have to cover the garbage with dirt, right?
That's correct. It has to be covered with clay or some type of soil, and it has to be of certain substance. And that has to have at least a 4-inch layer of cover. And that's before we leave here at night. The garbage that's put into the landfill a particular day has to be covered by midnight.
What about the concerns of those who worry about the environment? What's happening here to ensure that future generations won't regret the landfill?
Well, Ken, as you can see, these cells, as we complete them, are going to be, there'll be trees growing on it. It'll just be a park theme. As you come in, you're going to see, and now it looks ragged, it looks shoddy with all this new earth and all, but you're going to see trees growing, grass growing, and it's going to have a park theme effect. You're going to think you're maybe going into some Fontainebleau Park or something of that nature.
Even now, it doesn't look nearly as bad as most dumps I've seen. For example, with the coverage every night, you might think you're at an earth-moving operation, not a landfill at all.
Well, that's correct. It is an earth-moving operation, and I'm sure the people here that's working can tell you how many tons and yards of dirt we move daily, which is a big, you know, it's a gigantic job within itself.
If you have questions about your parish government, give President Gordon Burgess a call at 748-3211. I've been your announcer, Ken Benitez. Thanks so much for joining us for this look at Gordon Burgess, your parish president.